Hey everybody, and welcome back to the internet once again, where I give out parenting advice, even though I'm a single guy who's never had any kids. So today's parenting stories we're gonna hear starts with, entitled Mom is pissed off I didn't spend enough money on her son for Christmas. So this story is from 2 years ago. It happened around the time when I first moved to Vegas. So I have a cousin who has 7 kids, and I had just moved and I hadn't seen them since the youngest was in diapers. Now this cousin also has a sister who has exactly 1 child. For that 1 kid, she gets food stamps, child support, and she doesn't freaking work. She is that type of person who trades their food stamps for cash and blows her money on stupid stuff like trips to Cali and weed. She literally only cares about someone if she can use them. Mind you, my cousin with the 7 works her butt off. She is a little embarrassed that she gets government help because she feels responsible for having all 7 of her children. But no matter how hard she works, she makes enough for bills, and the food stamp she gets buys just enough food to last the month. Growing kids eat a lot. Mind you, I was 20, turning 21, and I always had a lot of money left over after every check. My bills were paid on time, and I would help my mother from time to time. We visited the kids one day, and the 3rd youngest told me that Christmas was coming, but he knows he wasn't going to get anything from Santa, but he's excited that he can get to eat good food on Christmas. The kids live off of ramen and ravioli. This shattered my heart. All of the kids were well behaved, and for the most part, they deserved a good Christmas. I started asking them what they wanted. In order from oldest to youngest, Dax wanted headphones and a new sweater, Jen wanted a sweater and nail polish, Darren wanted a football and cake, JR wanted a soccer ball and cake, Z wanted Transformers and Power Rangers, Nana wanted My Little Pony, Jay wanted anything Paw Patrol. Names are changed, of course. So I talked to my cousin in Spanish, since the kids don't understand it yet, and I tell her how I will take Christmas off, and how I will take the kids for her. She looks like she wanted to cry, but she thanks me and told me she would try to pay me back. I told her no. She stated that she would pick up an extra shift because she still wanted to get them something. So I got paid, and I gave myself a $40 limit per kid. I got each kid 2 big presents from Walmart, and with the remaining money got them all small stuff from the dollar store. Her kids appreciated everything you get them. The 2 that wanted cake, they got cake. I even put a bow on that thing, and we hid it behind the milk and eggs in the fridge. Now I guess my cousin told her sister, because I got a call from her sister, and this is how the conversation went. So the entitled cousin says, "Hey, Chris told me that you were doing Christmas for her kids." I say, "Yeah, they are spending Christmas Eve at my house. Mom's cooking dinner and we open presents the next morning." He says, "Surely you have room for 1 more?" I say, "Are you talking about your kid?" He says, "Of course I am." I say, "Alright, no problem. Drop him off Christmas Eve night so that he can eat and watch movies, then pick him up the next morning." She says, "No problem." So mind you guys, after buying the kids their presents and my parents, there I was a little broke. Entitled cousin called me the day before Christmas Eve, so I scrounged what I could and got the good kid some dollar store toys. Christmas Eve comes, and my mom picks up the 7 and brings them to the house. They are flabbergasted by the presents under the Christmas tree and the stockings with their names. The older one's goofing about who got what. I wait for an hour or 2, and the entitled cousin never brings her kid, so we feed the kids and start watching movies. After about 3 movies, all the kids pass out to food comas. The next morning we wake up and there's no word from entitled cousin. The kids start diving into their presents. JR and Darren are having some Christmas cake and they share with their siblings. Everything is in full swing, then banging on the door. I open it and I'm not really happy. I say, "Why the heck are you banging on my—" "Oh, it's you guys. Why didn't you bring your kid last night?" She says, "Watch your mouth. I got busy and we couldn't make it." I'm smelling BS and I roll my eyes. I say, "You've said worse stuff in front of your kid. You want to come in?" She says, "Sorry, we don't have time. Can we just get his presents, his meal, and go?" I say, "His meal?" She says, "Yeah, your mom cooked." I say, "Yeah, last night. You were busy and the kids ate it all." "You didn't save my kid a plate?" I say, "You never brought him, so no." She says, "Whatever, just give us his presents." So the kid looks like he wants to stay and play. I felt bad for the kid. I walked in and swam through the wrapping paper till I got to his presents. They were small, so I put them in a gift bag. He opened them on my porch and his eyes lit up. "Whoa, a ninja and a wrestler. Oh, silly putty, I got a puzzle. I love this, thank you, Momo." I got a little glump. I hugged him back and said Merry Christmas. The entitled cousin says, "That's it?" I gave her a look, trying to compose myself. Bish meter rising. I say, "What do you mean?" "How much did you spend on them?" I say, "None of your business." He says, "You know you are selfish. You bought him these cheap toys so you could buy Chris and her kids all that crap. Let my kid have one of each of their toys so it's fair." The bish meter explodes. I say, "Are you insane?" I close the door and cover the kid's ears. "It's Christmas. Be glad I bought anything at all." You only ever call us when you want something. You rob your son of a good time because you only care about yourself. It's not fair to him. You spend your money on bullcrap when you have a whole child to care for. You only have one child, and because you milk your baby daddy, that poor soul pays all the money for his son, but you spend all the money on your nails and weed. How about you act your age and be responsible for once? She looks shocked. Who do you think you are? I say, a woman who didn't try to trap a man by getting pregnant on purpose. A woman who doesn't get assistance but pays taxes so lazy people like you can feed your kids. The woman that brought your kid Christmas presents because I wasn't selfish like his mother. The entitled cousin looks like she wanted to hit me. She would have swung if my mother hadn't come outside. She's intimidated by my mom, so she takes her kid and leaves. She ended up moving to Chicago to mooch off her mother's now. I hope her kid is okay and that he doesn't pick up after her horrid habits. Whew. Well, unfortunately there's a lot of people like this who feel that they're entitled to all of the benefits of everybody else. I don't want to get too political on this channel, but I definitely think we could take a closer look into the welfare and handout system. Anyways, good luck to that little kid. On to, entitled parent thinks I'm abusing or kidnapping my kid. So my significant other is an American, and as such, we've had a long-distance relationship for quite a few years with traveling back and forth. This happened a few years ago in Sweden, so my significant other came for the summer vacation with her absolutely lovely little girls. Now, kid 1 was the oldest at 5 or 6 years old, and kid 2 was probably 2 or 3. Anyways, so we're just in town and just have the kids out and about, taking it easy, until it starts getting late and we need to head back. So my significant other puts kid 2 in the stroller as she's fallen asleep. Something about babies being asleep is adorable. Kid 1, on the other hand, was a bit of a brat at times when she's tired. So as we're packing up, I go to get kid 1 from the playground, but she refuses and just clings to a pole. I'm tired and try to reason with her that we can all have a nice nap when we get back. But kid 1 keeps refusing and keeps clinging to the pole. Eventually, my significant other comes over to help, but we tried to reason and failed, so I walked over and picked her up by saying if she wants to cling to something, she can cling to me. Nope, kid 1 starts screaming bloody murder and crying. Enter entitled parent. Note, my significant other does not speak Swedish, and most of the conversation between me, the entitled parent, and the police officer were in Swedish. So the parent says, "Oh my gosh, you're abusing her. Put her down right now before I call the cops and social services on you." I'm thinking, I'm with social service and this is hardly abuse. Heard worse from coworkers on the CPS side. I say, "I'm sorry to tell you, but there's no abuse, just a tired little girl who doesn't want to go home." Lies, she's screaming, crying, and obviously fighting you. Oh my gosh, you're trying to kidnap her. She gets on her phone and I guess to call the cops. Yeah, hi, can you send someone to the playground at XX? Someone's trying to kidnap a little girl. I say, oh, for crying out loud, she's our daughter and being a brat when she's tired. She says, no, she can't be. You look nothing like you filthy kidnapper. Neither of the kids are biologically related to me, but I honestly consider them as my own daughters, with their mother's blessing, as I love the two little brats at this point. I put kid 1 down and let her keep playing, and I tell her in English, play a bit longer and behave, alright? So the kid 1 goes back to playing. So my significant other says, Hun, what's going on? Why is she screaming at you and being on her phone? I say, she thinks we're kidnapping the kid and she called the cops. Rightfully, being a foreigner on vacation, significant other starts panicking, so I start trying to calm her down and explain I got this. The police officer shows up, says, hello there, so who was it that called about the kidnapping? The entitled parent says, I did. That man and woman tried to take this girl away and she started screaming, crying, and fighting. Clearly kidnapping or abuse. Says, hello miss. So can you explain what happened? My significant other in English says, I'm sorry, I don't speak Swedish. I say, yeah, sorry, she's here on vacation to visit me with our daughters. I point to the two kids. I'm surprised she was still asleep, but whatever. The police officer says, Miss, what proof do you have that they're trying to kidnap this girl? Says, well, they clearly look nothing alike, and she was screaming like a banshee and resisting. I'm calling CPS. The police says, Miss, let's clear this up first before jumping to conclusions. Says, no, I'm calling right now. I say, oh, don't worry, go ahead. I'll see them tomorrow anyway. See, he's admitting to being an abuser, and he has to see CPS tomorrow. I say, no, not really, they're my coworkers. Says, lies, no social worker would abuse their kids like you. I say to the police, could I talk to you for a second? Says, sure, what you got? I show the police officer my municipal ID showing that I do in fact work for the municipality and am a social worker. I also explain that kid 1 tends to become a right brat when she's tired and she doesn't want to stop playing, and my relationships to kid 1 and 2. The police officer laughs a little and explains his 8-year-old daughter is the same. Says, Miss, the situation is cleared up. This is the woman's daughter and she's her stepfather. If you don't They're lying! Now give me your name so I can report you. I say, fine, it's X. She says, hi, CPS, I'd like to file a report about abuse by X. Thank you and have a good day. A few seconds pass before my phone rings. Enter new character, Boss Man B. I say, oh, hello, boss. I put my phone on speaker now. What the heck have you done now? We just got a call from someone wanting to report you for abuse. I say, yep, I'm still here with the police officer and the caller. You know, my significant other was visiting this week, so we took the kids to the playground, and, well, it went from there. Nothing to worry about, as we and the police officer had cleared things up. But the entitled parent doesn't take no for an answer. He says, alright, we'll let it be for now, and the police officer can call later to give his statement. They usually ask the cops for statements in possible abuse cases where they are involved. We hang up. The police says, alright miss, you've reported it, and it's being taken care of, as you could clearly hear. I'll be making a statement about false information. So if you don't calm down, I'll have to charge you for public disturbance. Don't know the proper word in English, but basically everyone now is watching this unfold and disturbing the general public. Parent says, fine, I'm leaving, but don't think I'm forgetting this. I say, fine by me, can we go now? Police says, yeah. So I say, alright, come here kid, you've played long enough. The kid comes skipping up satisfied she got to play longer. She sees the cop and is confused, but thanks him before coming with me and my significant other. On the way back to the car, I explain everything that happened to the significant other because she's beyond flustered and confused. Eventually she laughs when I mention it was my boss that called. In the end of it all, nothing really happened. I get to work the next day and get made fun of for being on the other end of the report as the police officer had called and made his statement on the false accusations. My significant other and kids enjoyed the rest of our vacation together after my work week and had a lovely time. Surprise end, because that's not it. So autumn comes around and my significant other is back home in the US with the kids, and I'm back at work where I get a new welfare case handed to me. So I do the paperwork and send the appointment. Appointment comes up, I walk out to greet them. I ask for the name. I see and recognize an entitled parent. She sees and recognizes me. I just shut the door, walk to my boss and tell him I can't take it. He asks why, and I explain that the client is a caller from the summer. He laughs and says karma sucks, but understandable. I don't take it and assign other coworkers to it. I'm walking by as entitled parent is let in to have her appointment now with another coworker. If looks could kill, I'd be dead, the stink eye she gave me. You know, what if this whole story was all set up by that 6-year-old girl? Maybe she hired that entitled mother to go and make a whole scene that she could play on the playground longer. I mean, you never know. Anyways, on to the final, sort of short story called Young Mom with Sick Kid Demands My Parking Space. Spoiler, she didn't get it. So this was roughly a year and a half ago, but it still annoys me. I'll try to keep it short. My mother was at the end of her battle with colon cancer. She passed about a month after this. I had to go to the pharmacy one day to pick up some of her medications. When she felt up to it, I would take her with me, just to go get her out of the house. Normally I use the drive-thru, but I needed a few other things that day, so I parked in the spot closest to the door where I could go inside and still see her in the car. There are tons of other spots available, plus the drive-thru. I'm getting out of the car and another pulls up near me. An entitled mother comes up and says, "Hey miss, would you mind if I had that parking spot?" I say, "The one I'm parked in?" She says, "Yes, I got my sick child in the car and I need to get her medicine." I say, "Well, I've got my dying mother in the car and I'm getting her medicine." She says, "Yeah, but could you move over one spot so I can park and go in and still see her?" I say, "No." She says, "But she's sick, I can't take her inside. You move your car one spot." It was at this point I lost it and a slew of curse words flew out of my mouth. We've been using this pharmacy for years. They know us well. The manager heard me screaming and came out. She yelled at entitled mom to use the drive-thru, and then sat in my car and talked to my mom while I went in, and to make sure entitled mom didn't try anything. The best part is I could see the entitled mom through the drive-thru window, on her phone ranting and raving to someone, while I was being waited on. She was giving me dirty looks. I smiled and waved. I came back out, and my amazing mother said, "I raised you right." Man, do I miss that woman. Again, not the greatest story, but definitely one that I won't forget anytime soon. Man, that's weird that everyone is after one specific parking spot for all the same reason. Anyways, hopefully you learned how to be a better parent from this video. That does it for today's story, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow.